What's up, guys? We are back with a full NBA slate here on Wednesday, October 30th. We're going to break down every game and look at bets on the side and over-under, and I'll throw some player props in the pinned comment for tomorrow for the national TV game. So buckle up. We have a great video for you tonight. Tuesday went kind of okay, got off to a good start there. Definitely, we had the over there in the Denver-Brooklyn game, and yeah, going into overtime helped, but I don't think we really needed it. We unfortunately had Aaron Gordon, who couldn't get to 7 rebounds despite playing an overtime game. That was kind of crazy, but we nailed Julius Randle over 1.5 3-pointers made. We've still got some other games going on, so we'll see how those finish up, but overall, not looking like an amazing, but not looking like a terrible night either. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments absolutely warms my heart. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and MLB. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into game one. We have the Toronto Raptors going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Raptors come into this game, guys, they do have a win on the board. They are 1-3 overall, but that one win came over a very banged up 76ers team, and their last game they did keep things extremely close, ending up beating or almost beating the Denver Nuggets. They ended up losing that game 127-125, but a very good game nevertheless. I mean, going into overtime there against Denver and just losing by 2 points, very, very tough stuff. And it took a Jamal Murray, up and under, pretty wild layup there to send the game into overtime. So yeah, a good game there by the Raptors, who haven't been at full strength. They're not going to be at full strength for this game either, guys. We saw Scotty Barnes in that overtime game against Denver look very good. 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. So just one assist short there, the triple-double. He also had 5 steals in the game. Just elite stuff from him. Other than that, guys, we're not really going to freak out about RJ Barrett putting up 20 points when he took 21 shots, so that doesn't feel amazing. And Grady Dick only went 2 of 7 from 3, which, I mean, not a terrible night from him, generally speaking, but also nothing really amazing. I don't have super high hopes here for the Raptors, but we still have yet to see this full team all on the floor at once, and we're not going to see that in this one. Scotty Barnes dealing with that eye issue. We're not even sure when he's going to be back. He's currently not traveling with the team. Quickly is doubtful for this one, officially doubtful with his pelvis injury. We haven't seen him in a bit, so yeah, definitely not going to be the full strength Toronto Raptors here, but they still have played relatively well at times this season, so got to give them a little bit of credit here. I do think they're, going to be going up against a slightly tougher than I would have guessed opponent. We'll see. I mean, the Hornets come into this game fresh off of a 114-106 loss there against the Miami Heat. They played a very tough game at Atlanta, but they lost 125-120. They're not going to be at full strength for this game either, guys. We got Brandon Miller out with his hip issue. He's going to be out at least a week, and Mark Williams officially out for this game with his foot injury. So yeah, not exactly going to be the full strength Hornets, but this has still been kind of a feisty team that can put up some numbers, on occasion. In their game against the Heat, we did see Lonzo Ball look pretty good out there. 27 points, 9 of 22 from the field though, so not a great shooting night, and only 2 of 10 from deep. We did see Seth Curry have a good night shooting the ball from 3. That's kind of what we expect from him. And Man looked pretty good out there, scoring 14 points off the bench. But this team just doesn't really seem to have the horses to, do too many impressive things. I mean, Caleb Martin was kind of their big pickup. And yeah, 2 of 6 from 3 and, 10 points there. Just not amazing numbers. And you're going to need some really transcendent stuff from LaMelo Ball if you're going to, find a lot of success here as the Charlotte Hornets. So yeah, not in love with what we're seeing from them necessarily. Not really in love with what we're seeing from either one of these teams. That being said, both have been pretty decent against the spread. Toronto 3-1 against the spread this year, 3-1 to the over. Charlotte 2-1 against the spread and 2-1 to the under. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the odds makers are in love with the Charlotte Hornets here, taking them at -6.5. We've got an over-under of 226.5 in this game, with both teams missing key pieces, and especially, with Scotty Barnes being out there for Toronto, I could see why the odds makers are leaning this way. And guys, I'm going to go go ahead and agree with them. Give me the Charlotte Hornets here at -6.5. I don't think this is going to be a massive play for me, but I do think it has some value here. I think the players that are missing for Toronto are more important than the players that are missing for Charlotte. So yeah, my lean in this one's going to be the Hornets here at home. In terms of the over-under of 226.5, obviously we've got mixed trends here so far in the early goings between these teams, but I'm going to lean just a little bit towards the under. I don't think we're going to see Charlotte score a ton of points, but yeah, this is kind of a weird over-under spot and not one that I'm super interested in. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers, a game that I cannot believe is not going to be on ESPN. This is going to be, LeBron and Bronny's kind of, homecoming game there to Cleveland. So we'll see how things work out, but I think there's going to be lots of emotions out there on the floor. The Lakers are off to a very good start, 3-1 on the season, and it honestly felt like they would have won that game at the Suns, their last time out, if we wouldn't have seen a complete and total stinker there from LeBron James, who it really looked like he wasn't even going to continue his double-digit scoring streak. So yeah, they ended up taking the 109-105 loss to snap their, undefeated start to the season. We saw JJ Redick get a little bit frustrated there on the bench, kind of for the first time, yelling at LeBron to shoot the ball and stuff like that, which I don't think is crazy at all. You got to have your superstar player putting up some shots. He went 3 of 14 on the day with 11 points out there and posted a -17. Yeah, just looking at these numbers, guys, it was A, the bench that was a problem, and B, LeBron James that caused this loss there for the Lakers. Otherwise, they would have beaten the Suns and still be undefeated right now in the season. We've loved, generally speaking, what we've seen from the Lakers. Anthony Davis playing like a man possessed. He had 29 points and 15 rebounds and 3 blocks in the game against Phoenix, so great stuff from him. Hachimura doing his thing out there. He's taking more shots than I would have expected this season. He's knocking a lot of them down. A hot start for him as well. He posted a very solid double-double and a +20 in the plus-minus department in that loss against the Suns. But the real problem, obviously, aside from LeBron missing everything he threw up there for the first, 46 minutes of the game or something like that, was this bench, guys. The Lakers bench looked terrible out there. 3 guys posting double-digit negative plus-minus ratings. Yeah, Gabe Vincent not doing much coming off the bench so far. Connect cannot find his shot right now. Jackson Hayes has done some cool things off the bench, but did not in that game, guys, going scoreless in his 13 minutes. So just not a lot of positives right now. Not loving what we're seeing from the Lakers bench. So that's a big concern going forward, guys. We also have some injury problems. Reeves, he's probable with a left thigh contusions. I think he's going to definitely play in this game. But yeah, D'Angelo Russell is questionable with lower back soreness. I don't know that that'll really be a disaster if he misses this game, but I don't think you want him to necessarily be unavailable. So we'll see how that plays out. On the other side, guys, we've got the Cavaliers off to a very good start, 4-0 on the season. They came through for us handily there in their last game, taking down the New York Knicks 110-104. So we love to see that. We also love to see Cleveland is at 100% fully healthy for this game. So that's got to feel great. And yeah, they outscored the Knicks there by 10 points in the fourth quarter to salt that one away. So very, very good stuff from the Cavaliers in the last game. We saw, good stuff from Mobley, 7 of 12 from the field, only 8 rebounds. A good day from him. Jarrett Allen, 15 boards and 15 points. That's a sick double-double there. And we saw Garland go bonkers, guys. He's going to have these kind of games. He's going to go nuts. 12 of 19 from the field, 34 points. He was 5 of 8 from three-point range. And Donovan Mitchell was right there with him with 25 points and a very efficient shooting night as well. So great stuff there from the starting unit. We are a little bit worried about the bench here from Cleveland, but they've got some killers on that bench that just didn't have great nights. Karis LeVert didn't look good, only 1 of 4 from the field. We saw Niang knock down 1 out of 4 threes, but the bench did put up some positive numbers, or at least Niang and LeVert did. Other than that, it was a bit of a rough night for the bench, but overall, guys, we are loving what we're seeing from the Cleveland Cavaliers here, and we also love that they're coming into this game completely healthy here, going into their 5th game of the season. So all positives right now for Cleveland, and the odds makers have noticed that, guys. Cleveland is -5 in this game. We've got an over-under of 226. The Lakers, they're 4-0 against the spread this year. They are 2-2 to the over-under. Cleveland is 4-0 against the spread this year, and also 2-2 to the over-under. So first, guys, we're going to take a look at that over-under of 226. I'm going to be leaning just a little bit here towards the under. I don't think we're going to see the Cavs really allow the kind of play that, that the Lakers want. I think they'll be able to at least slow down, if not stop, Anthony Davis. And they've got enough big bodies and enough athletic talent to throw at LeBron to, slow things down and slow down Anthony Davis. The question for me is, what's their perimeter defense going to look like here? But if D'Angelo Russell is out and we're just going to see Austin Reeves as really the only perimeter scoring threat out there, I don't think we have to worry about a crazy amount of offense. So go ahead and give me under 226 in this game. In terms of the side, I do think we want to be on the Cavaliers here at -5. The Lakers not being fully healthy does not help. Cleveland's playing great right now. They're going to be the ones at home. I think, the Lakers might get a little caught up in the whole LeBron, going back to Cleveland with Bronny thing. And just generally speaking, they're not healthy. And I don't feel like Cleveland's a great matchup for them. So go ahead and give me the Cavaliers here at -5. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering NFL, NCAA football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and Major League Baseball. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new, and become a channel member for early access to all of our NFL and NCAA football videos. Also, if you want to experience peer-to-peer sports betting while paying almost zero juice, click the link in the description and sign up at BetOpenly.com. Now guys, back to the games. Moving right along here guys, we are looking at our first nationally televised ESPN game of the night. We've got the Boston Celtics going on the road here to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Celtics are still undefeated this season, 4-0. They took down the Milwaukee Bucks in their last game, pretty comfortably winning that one 119 to 108. A game that didn't really ever feel like it was in doubt, and Boston just continues to roll. They did play a close game at Detroit, which I think Detroit's a little bit better of a team than people are going to give them credit for this season, keeping things pretty close. But yeah, in the game against Milwaukee, guys, the Celtics were definitely in control. We saw a big game there from Jaylen Brown. Very good stuff from him. Made it to the line 14 times, which was key since he was 0 of 4 from the three-point line. But generally speaking, I mean, we saw a huge three-point shooting game from Pritchard. That is what kind of put them over the top here. He posted a +12 with 28 points. 8 of 12 off the bench, guys, from three-point range. Obviously, an amazing night for Pritchard there. Really helped carry this team to a win. He was the second leading scorer. We saw Tatum kind of take a back seat, and not very many of the starters looked amazing shooting. I mean, I guess Jrue Holiday was 4 of 7 from three-point range, but none of the starters really shot the lights out, but that was all made up for by Pritchard. It felt like he could not miss out there. So a cool game there. It was, impressive to see the Celtics manage to, manufacture a win here despite their starters not having an amazing time necessarily. They also lost the rebounding battle by 5, which was a little bit surprising even in this matchup. I mean, obviously Lopez out there seems like he would cause some problems, and Giannis is going to get his boards, but yeah, kind of a bleak look there for the the Bucks. I don't think this is a team that's going to be nearly as good as they want to be, despite Giannis continuing to put up insane numbers. But the Celtics definitely looked good in that game. We'll see how they look here, trying to remain undefeated as they take on the Indiana Pacers, who are off to a terrible start to their season. They are only 1-3 this year. Their last game was another loss. They lost 3 straight after winning their opener over the Pistons. They lost 119 to 115 at Orlando. So obviously a very close, very competitive game, but the Pacers were a team hoping to take the next step this season, and it looks like they are quite a ways off from really contending here for a championship. I mean, we saw Siakam do his thing. He's looking like the best player on this team by a significant margin here in the early goings. I mean, he was 10 of 18 from the field. Pretty solid stuff there. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 2 of 5 from 3. He, despite those great efforts there, posted a -9+-. We saw Neesmith look pretty mediocre. Turner dealing with a ankle injury for this game, so that's a bit of a concern. Yeah, Miles Turner, he's officially questionable with that left ankle sprain, so we don't even know if he's going to be out there. We saw Halliburton. I mean, he was 4 of 9 from 3, but only 6 of 15 from the field. He did have 10 assists, so putting up good numbers, almost a triple-double there. So I mean, I guess I can't talk too about him. He's the only starter to post a positive +- rating, but just didn't feel like he was able to impose his will on this game. The bench looked pretty good for the Pacers, to be honest. Obi Toppin, 14 points, a +5 there for him. 3 of 4 from three-point range is not something we can always expect there from Obi Toppin, but we'll take it when we can get it. Other than that, the bench didn't look insane, but it also didn't look terrible. It was certainly not the bench that was the reason they lost this game, and they went 13 of 29 from three-point range. You're going to shoot 45% from 3 and lose? That is not a great look, guys. They really had no answer there for Paolo Banchero. Couldn't keep him off of the free throw line. Just couldn't stop him in general. We also Jalen Suggs step up there. I mean, Franz Wagner only played 11 minutes in the game. So yeah, a little bit rough there for the Magic, but they still come away with a win over a dangerous Pacers team. This is a scary Orlando squad. So yeah, can't feel too great about how the Pacers are looking right now, and the odds makers certainly don't. We've got Indiana getting 7 points playing at home. We've got an over-under of 233. Boston is 3-1 against the spread, 2-2 to the over-under. Indiana 2-2 against the spread, and 2-2 to the over-under themselves. So with Boston being basically fully healthy, even Sam Hauser is now probable with a back injury, so I think we'll see him out there. Yeah, this is a fully healthy game for Boston, maybe not a fully healthy game there for Indiana. 7 points feels like a lot, but I'm not really loving what I'm seeing from Indiana right now. I don't think they're going to be able to defend Boston very well outside of whoever Siakam is guarding. I think the Celtics are really going to have their way. So go ahead and give me the Boston Celtics here at -7. In terms of the over-under of 233, I do think we'll see a relatively high-scoring game, but that's a lot of points, guys. That's a lot of points. I would maybe lean slightly towards the over, but definitely not an over-under spot that I love. Moving right along here, guys, we've got the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Pistons come into this game, guys. They are still looking for their first win of the season after losing 106-98 against the Miami Heat. They've kept some games close for sure against some pretty decent teams. I mean, their 4 games have all been against, very likely playoff teams here. So, a little bit of a rough start to their schedule, but overall, guys, they were hoping to come up with at least 1 or 2 wins out of those 4, because this is a team that's trying to, work their way out of being so bad last season. In that game against the Miami Heat, I mean, a 109-98 loss on the road against the Heat, not the worst look. I'm not going to, say that's a terrible loss there, but Tobias Harris, another single-digit scoring night for him. Can't be too excited about his arrival if you're a Pistons fan. We did see Tim Hardaway Jr. look good out there, 3 of 6 from deep, 20 points for him, a +2 in the plus-minus category. Cade had another very good game, guys. 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 of 7 from deep, 50% shooting from the field, putting up 24 points. Excellent stuff from him. It is, starting to appear like the starting unit for this team is pretty good, but the bench is pretty bad, guys. Lots of negative, negative, double-digit negative plus-minus ratings there for the bench. As a team, we saw the Pistons shoot 14 of 38 from three-point range. While not, horrible, that's obviously not great. They did win the rebounding battle by 10, but if you're going to win the rebounding battle, that big of an edge, you expect to win the game usually, and that is just not what happened for them in this one. But yeah, they did a decent job defensively, I guess. I mean, they kind of couldn't handle Jimmy Butler. He was getting to the line a lot, and we saw Hero and Rozier both post, decent scoring numbers, albeit a little bit inefficient. So I'm not going to say the Pistons had a terrible night defensively. I mean, they only giving up 106 points is not awful, but yeah, they definitely had to have been hoping to come away with a win there. So we'll see if they can bounce back here and get their first win of the season as they go on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers, who are not going to have Joel Embiid or Paul George for this game still. Yeah, the NBA levying fines and all kinds of stuff. The 76ers just do not want, these guys to be playing here until they're, I don't want to say until they're fully ready, because it seems like they probably are ready to play. They just are holding them out, want to give them as much rest as possible and, have them ready for when the playoffs start. But I think that's, getting a little bit extreme out there. We'll see how things develop, but no Embiid, no Paul George for this game. The 76ers did get the win their last time out, taking down the Pacers, 118-114 at Indiana. So a solid win there. Obviously, credit for that victory has to go to Maxey, who put up an insane 45-point night, 45 points, 4 assists. He did have 5 turnovers, but man, he was cooking out there, and that's what's going to have to happen for them to win games, because this team has very few other scoring options, guys. Not a lot of positive stuff out there. We saw Eric Gordon shoot the ball well off the bench, but as a team, the 76ers shot only 11 of 42 from three-point range, 26.2%. 3-point shooting nights, not usually going to be getting you wins. They did dominate the boards, which is obviously a nice look, 37-54 in the 76ers' favor. So they've got to be pretty excited about that. But really, guys, I mean, they just played harder. They were the more physical, more, it was an overtime game and everything. And Maxey just would not stop coming at him. So definitely major credit there, major props to the 76ers and Maxey. But this team not going to be that special until we see what they're actually going to look like with, their 2 heavy hitters out there. So looking at the numbers of this game, we see the 76ers are 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got an over-under of 216.5. No injury news for the Pistons. They're fully healthy for this game. The 76ers, obviously, that is not the case. Detroit is 2-2 against the spread this year, 3-1 to the under. Philadelphia is 1-2 against the spread and 3-0 to the over. So, guys, looking at these numbers, that over-under of 216.5 seems very small to me. I'm going to lean a bit towards the over. I don't know if I like it enough to put it in the pinned comment necessarily, but I do think there's some value on that play. I definitely think you want to be taking a look here at the Pistons and the points. I think they could definitely go on the road and get this win here. They're fully healthy and ready to go. They've got several different defenders they could reasonably run at Tyrese Maxey and make life hard for him. And if life's hard for him, life is going to be very tough there for the 76ers. So definitely give me the Pistons and the points in this one. I think that is a very solid play. Jumping in with our first ever sportsbook ad, guys, and I am super excited to tell you about BetOpenly. They are unlike any regular sportsbook out there. Their whole goal is to facilitate peer-to-peer betting, so instead of them having a vested interest in you winning or losing your bet, they just want to match you up with a real person who wants the opposite side. At BetOpenly, you will be paying drastically reduced juice on your bets, close to 1% instead of the 10% you would pay at any of the big guys. Not having to fight that built-in house edge sounds pretty great to me. BetOpenly supports all your favorite bets, including props and parlays, and get this, guys, you can even be the house on parlays, meaning you only need a single leg to win to cash your bet. Most importantly, BetOpenly will never limit your account for being a consistent winner, which is something that happens all the time on the bigger sites. If you're interested in signing up, click the referral link in the description of this video and let's cash some bets. Now, guys, back to the games. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. The Hawks come into this game, guys. They are 2-2 on the season. They are coming off back-to-back losses. They just lost to the Washington Wizards 121-119. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that is the definition of an embarrassing loss. And now they get to run it back here against the Wizards with a chance to redeem themselves. But man, that was a tough look there, guys. The Hawks shot 15 of 40 there from long distance, but they lost the rebounding battle. We saw very good stuff there from Jalen Johnson. He went out and put up 29 points on 11 of 17 from the field. He also had 7 assists and 12 rebounds, but Trae Young, an atrocious shooting night, guys. Embarrassing stuff. 2 of 15 from the field. Both of those makes were threes. He did have 13 assists, so he was able to chip in some way, but man, just not what you were hoping to see if you were an Atlanta Hawks fan. You cannot be losing games against the Washington Wizards. Like, that is... yeah, that's pretty embarrassing stuff, guys. I mean, they had a very rough time there slowing down Kuzma and Poole. Kuzma is going to be out for this game with a groin injury, though, so that's something to take into consideration here if you're an Atlanta Hawks fan and hoping for them to have some sort of bounce back. We didn't see very many positive things there from, the Hawks bench, except for Matthews. He did go 4 of 9 from three-point range and, put up 14 points. So that was helpful, but just not enough to put him over the top. We also saw, 16 turnovers, which isn't terrible for the Hawks, but we saw Capella not have an amazing game. I mean, how does this dude come up with only 4 rebounds? That's kind of a rough look too. So yeah, we'll see if the Hawks can bounce back here a little bit in game 2 against the Wizards, who, like I was saying, come into this game definitely not healthy. They, had big games from both Kuzma and Poole. Well, Kuzma's not even going to be available for this game. We also saw Corey Kispert have possibly the best game of his career, putting up 21 points on 7 of 15 shooting, from the field, coming off the bench. Very good stuff, a plus 13. He was definitely one of the big motivating factors behind them coming away with this win, but is this really something we can expect, to continue? That would be kind of shocking to me, to be honest. So we'll see how the Washington looks in this one, but looking at the numbers, we've got, Washington, they're either getting 4.5 or 4 points. We've got an over-under of 234.5. Dyson Daniels is out, DeAndre Hunter is questionable with a knee issue, and Bogdanovich is still going to be out there with that nagging hamstring issue. So the the Atlanta Hawks probably not going to be quite at full strength, I wouldn't say, but I don't think they're necessarily decimated with injuries. And Kyle Kuzma and Brogdon, being still out there for the Wizards is definitely a big deal. And Atlanta, guys, they are 0-4 against the spread this season. They're 4-0 to the over. Washington is 1-2 against the spread this season and 2-1 to the over as well. That over-under number of 234.5 looks a little bit big to me, but I'm definitely going to be on the over in this game. I think that's the value side of the over-under play for sure. In terms of the side, though, guys, I love the Atlanta Hawks here at -4. I think they're going to bounce back, get a win, and cover here. I think we'll see, Trae Young play much, much better, and there are other guys in this, roster that are capable of stepping up, and the Wizards without Kyle Kuzma, I do not think that's going to be a very good look, guys. That is a lot of their production just immediately gone, so definitely give me the Atlanta Hawks in this one at -4. Next on the docket, guys, we got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. Obviously, a pretty exciting game there. Definitely one I'm going to be watching. We, haven't been super sold on what we've seen from the Knicks yet this season, although they've played 3 very tough opponents, and they came out with 1 win. Obviously, getting blown out by Boston there on opening night, not a great look. But then they blew out the Pacers. Then they followed that up in their last game at home, with a loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thank you, Cleveland, for coming through for us on that one. That was a 110-104 loss there for the Knicks. But we didn't see, it wasn't a complete disaster out there. I mean, they kept the game very, competitive, but losing by 10 in the 4th quarter, that's kind of a big yikes. We saw McBride look very good off the bench, but other than that, this bench continues to be absolutely terrible. Looking like maybe, all these trades that they made looking very, very sketchy. This bench would look quite a bit different if you had DiVincenzo coming off of it. So, yeah, a lot falls on the shoulders of guys like Brunson, who had a terrible game against Cleveland, going 8 of 24 from the field and 0 of 4 from 3. He did have 7 assists and only 1 turnover, but yeah, just not a great night. Mikal Bridges kind of doing all right out there. OG doing his thing. Karl Anthony Towns only took 8 shots in the game. Only 8 shots in the game. Trading off a bunch of dudes for Karl Anthony Towns looking like not a great idea. So we'll see how things go on, see how things work out over the rest of the season, but really looking like a sketchy situation here for the Knicks. Obviously, still plenty of time to figure things out, but they are coming into this game probably not healthy here. Josh Hart questionable for this game with a lower leg contusion. He's kind of an Iron Man. I do probably expect him to play, but yeah, is he going to be at full strength? If you're dealing with a severe leg bruise, that can be weird. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Precious Achiuwa and Mitchell Robinson are still going to be out for this game. So this isn't the full look here of what we're going to get from the Knicks, but we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Miami Heat, who come into this game. Guys, they are 2-1 on the season. Their schedule hasn't been the toughest, obviously losing convincingly against Orlando in their first game of the season, but a good win at Charlotte and a convincing win at home over the Detroit Pistons. They'll definitely take those. The Heat are healthy for this game, except for Kevin Love is out. In that win over the Pistons, we saw, several guys for the Heat play pretty well. I mean, we saw Jimmy Butler have another good game. We saw Hero have a nice one. Rozier continues to shoot the ball really well and make pretty well as well. I mean, we saw, Bam have some assists in the game. He had 10 boards and 12 points. The bench is starting to look a little bit better too. Jaime Jaquez having a great follow-up here to a great rookie season, it's looking like. Duncan Robinson knocked down a couple shots off the bench. It seems like this Miami Heat team is definitely pointed in the right direction now. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Heat getting 2 points at home. We've got an over-under of 214.5, so a very low over-under. The Knicks 1-2 against the spread. The Heat 1-2 against the spread as well. Both teams are 2-1 to the under this season, with a total of 214.5 though, guys. There's no way I can go with that under, I don't think. I think I have to side slightly towards the over. Both teams have some shooters. Both teams have some guys that can get to the line. I think that will, get us over that 214.5 number pretty comfortably. In terms of a side though, this feels like a bit of a toss-up, guys. The Heat are at home. They are getting 2 points, and they are, a team with lots of comfortability playing with each other, and that is not what the Knicks have right now. So go ahead and give me the Heat +2 as a small lean, but I do think the better play on this game probably is over 214.5. Next up, we're looking at the Orlando Magic going on the road to take on the Chicago Bulls. The Magic come into this game. They've gotten off to a pretty good start to their season. They are 3-1 overall and come into this game fresh off of a 119-115 win there over the Pacers. So very solid stuff from the Magic. They managed to get that win thanks in large part to a Banchero explosion. He did get to the line 22 times, but 16 of 26 from the field, 3 of 9 for 3 for 50 points. He almost had a triple-double as well, guys. 9 assists, 13 rebounds. He was absolutely hooping out there. Love to see that from Banchero. He stepped up there with Franz Wagner dealing with an illness. He only played 11 minutes in the game. He's not on the injury report for this one, so we expect to see him back and at full strength, so that'll be nice. We do have Jonathan Isaac questionable with his hip issue, but this should basically be the full strength Orlando Magic for this game. The bench didn't look insane. I mean, Mo Wagner did get his numbers. He looked good. 14 points, 4 rebounds, doing his thing out there, no doubt about that. He even knocked down a 3, so good stuff there, but this Orlando Magic bench does leave a little bit to be desired, but we'll see what they look like going on the road here to take on the Chicago Bulls, who are now 2-2 on the season. They are apparently going to be without Lonzo Ball. He's out with a wrist sprain. Jalen Smith is questionable with a left ankle sprain, but, I don't think those are massive injuries. I do think Lonzo Ball could be, missing, could be a problem eventually, but right now he's not doing a crazy amount this season. The Bulls are coming off of a big win there at Memphis, a nice 126-123 win. Gotta love it there if you're a Chicago Bulls fan. I think this is honestly a team that's pointed a little bit more in the right direction than people think. They outscored the Grizzlies by 10 points there in the fourth quarter. We saw Zach LaVine put up a 30 spot. That had to feel pretty good, guys. I mean, yeah, 5 of 12 from 3, 12 of 22 from the field in general. He did have 4 assists mixed in there. We also saw, very good scoring there from Vujicic, and Kobe White shot the ball really well, and the Bulls shot 25 of 53 from the three-point line. Like, that is elite stuff. We saw Smith off the bench, 3 of 4 from 3 for him. Yeah, Alonzo was shooting the ball really well before he ended up coming out. Dosunmu went 2 of 4 from deep. Like, this was a big shooting night there from the Chicago Bulls. Is that something we can count on them to replicate? I don't know about that, but they did, try to stay competitive on the boards in a crazy game that featured tons of offense, but they ended up, coming up 10 short in the rebounding battle there against the Grizzlies. So we'll see what the Bulls can do in this game. A different, completely different kind of matchup here going up against the defensive-minded Orlando Magic. So we'll see how things go. The Bulls are getting 4.5 2.5 points at home. We've got an over-under of 227.5. Orlando's 2-2 against the spread, 4-0 to the over. Chicago is 2-2 against the spread and 3-1 to the over. So right off the bat, guys, a total there of 227.5. I'm going to be leaning towards the over here a decent amount. I do think we'll see plenty of offense in this game. Both teams come to this game shooting the ball really, really well. Is that something we want to bank on happening again? I don't know if we like it enough to put it in the pinned comment necessarily, but I do think over is the way, or is where you want to be in terms of the, the over under here. In terms of the side, guys, I definitely think we want to go with the Orlando Magic minus only 4.5. The Bulls really not that great of a team, I don't think. Orlando's going to be a great team. Definitely want to monitor the health of Franz Wagner. If you can find any any updates on that, it would be very, very helpful. But I'm expecting him to be at full strength, and if he's at full strength, I think we see Orlando Magic get a comfortable win in this game. Next up, guys, we got the San Antonio Spurs going on the road here to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs are only 1-2 on the season so far. They just, played a 2-game, mini series thing there against the Houston Rockets, and they won the first game but lost the second one 106 to 101. So that's going to be a little bit disappointing. Trey Jones, he's out with that ankle issue. He's going to miss a couple weeks here, but the Spurs in general have some expectations this season. I mean, Sohan had a decent game, which is kind of a shock to me. This dude can hijack an offense for sure. He's been a reason they've lost games already this season, but he put in 22 points. Wemby only scored 14 points on 6 of 14 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, but he had 20 rebounds in the game, so that's got to feel good. He also had 5 assists. The bench put up some decent numbers. Zach Collins had 11 points. We've seen some good things, some signs of life here, but yeah, Chris Paul, 16 points. That's got to feel pretty good. They need him to be more assertive there on offense, but only 3 assists in the game. Like, just kind of a weird one there for the Spurs, who ended up coming up, fairly short. They did make a decent-sized comeback there in the fourth quarter, but it just was not enough. They dug themselves a huge hole there in the first quarter and just could never really climb out of it. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are still undefeated on the season, 3-0. They absolutely obliterated the Atlanta Hawks in their last game, winning 128 to 104. They haven't faced the toughest schedule so far. I mean, Denver, Chicago, and Atlanta, and Denver hasn't gotten off to a very good start. So yeah, the Thunder kind of winning games that they are supposed to win. And guys, this has been a very dominant run here for the Thunder. They're looking like one of the scariest teams out there, and they're not even at full strength without Hartenstein back from his hand issue, and not J-Dub, but Jalen Williams with that hamstring issue, being out, definitely limits them in terms of size. A lot, of defensive responsibility there on Chet Holmgren, but he's been up to the task, guys. He had 6 blocks there against the Atlanta Hawks, so elite stuff there. We saw the Thunder shoot 40% from three-point range. SGA went off for 35 points. He almost had a triple-double, only a single assist short of that triple-double. So just elite stuff. We saw lots of positive plus-minus numbers there for the bench. So absolutely love what we're seeing for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they do come into this game close to healthy. So yeah, good stuff there. And looking at the numbers for this game, we see the odds makers love the Thunder here. They've got them 13.5-point favorites. We've got an over-under of 222.5 in this one. And San Antonio, they're 1-2 against the spread, 2-1 to the under. Oklahoma City, they're 3-0 against the spread this season and 2-1 to the under themselves. Guys, in this game, it might seem a little contrarian, but I like the San Antonio Spurs here getting 13.5 points. It just feels like too many points here. I think we're going to see a super motivated Wembanyama when him and Chet Holmgren face off. It is always, quite the showdown here between these two young superstars, and I do think we'll see them manage to keep this game relatively close. Do I expect the Spurs to win this game straight up? Absolutely not, but I do think they can keep it within double digits, and that's all it would take here. So I definitely think you want to be on the Spurs in this spot, and in terms of the over-under of 222.5, I know both teams are showing trends towards the under. That seems a little sketchy to me. I think we're going to see an over game here. I think we'll see plenty of offense from both sides. I do worry about the Spurs' ability to knock down enough threes, but I would say guys like Wembanyama, for example, are due for a hot shooting night. Will that happen against the Thunder? That's a little bit of a big ask, but I don't really, think that, the over is not my favorite play in this game. My favorite play on this game is definitely the San Antonio Spurs here and the points. In the last game we're going to go over tonight, guys, we've got the Portland Trail Blazers going on the road to take on the LA Clippers. The Blazers come into this game only 1-3 on the season, so not exactly having an amazing time, but that one win was a blowout win there over the New Orleans Pelicans, so they got to feel, I guess, decent about that. They could have won both of those games there against New Orleans. Their last game, though, was against the Sacramento Kings. They lost that one 111 to 98, so not exactly amazing. Portland does come into this game fully healthy, so that's a big plus. In their loss against the Kings, we did see Ayton have a pretty good game, putting up 20 points and 11 rebounds, but Anthony Simons struggled shooting the ball, and Portland couldn't throw in the ocean motion, guys. They were 4 of 22 from three-point range. You are not going to win any games in the NBA when you shoot the ball like that. We saw Scoot, continue to look a little bit better. It seems like he's getting better and better. 18 points there in 28 minutes. He was 5 of 12 from the field. He did turn the ball over 4 times, so we have plenty still to work on there for Scoot, but yeah, we're going to see how that develops. At least he's looking like an NBA caliber player, not something that was going on last season. So yeah, Portland definitely just a terrible shooting night there against the Kings. So they're going to be looking to shake that one off as they go on the road to the newest, arena in the NBA to take on the LA Clippers, who are 2-1 on the season. They come into this game fresh off of a 112-104 win there over the Warriors, where we saw Steph Curry go down with an injury. So definitely still got to give the Clippers credit for a win, but maybe, not, the toughest win out there. We've seen Zubac have a great start to his season. He put up 23 points in that win over the Warriors. Harden is doing his thing out there, but only 2 of 12 from three-point range. Like, I don't know how excited the Clippers should be to be seeing, this, iteration of James Harden trying to take over games and play with Luka type usage. We did see big things from the bench unit, guys. Lots of big plus numbers out there. Chris Dunn having a big game. Some nice shooting there from the Clippers off the bench. As a team, they struggled a little bit, only, 31.3% from three-point range, but they did, manage to stay even with the Warriors on the board. They had 11 steals in the game. They had less turnovers than the Warriors, so a good game overall, but definitely still some issues that I see there with the Clippers. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The odds makers love them. They've got the Clippers at -7.5 in this game, despite Mo Bamba still, not having, made his season debut, or Kawhi. So we'll see how that goes, but 7.5 point favorites there for the Clippers and an over-under of only 212, which is a little bit low sounding to me, guys. Portland 2-1-1 against the spread this season, 2-2 to the over-under. The Clippers are actually 3-0 against the spread this year. They are 2-1 to the under themselves. The first number that jumps out to me in this game, guys, is that over-under. I love over 212 in this game. That seems like a ridiculously low total to me. I don't know why the odds makers have it like that. Maybe there's some crazy injury news that I'm overlooking or that just hasn't broken yet that the bookies know about that I don't, but definitely keep an eye on that, see if it changes. And at time of recording here, guys, we're going to go ahead and change that. It's actually up to 213.5. So definitely a number that's headed up, but I still like the over in this game. No doubt about that. You might want to jump on it quick before it goes up any higher, but definitely think this is a good over spot. In terms of the side here, guys, I like the Blazers and the points. I think they managed to keep this game close against the Clippers. For a fact James Harden's going to play hero ball out there, so we'll see how that goes. And it's not like the Blazers have a ton of great defenders to run at him or anything like that, but I just don't expect miracles here from James Harden, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So yeah, give me the Blazers here as a small lean, and I definitely like that over. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check back in that pinned comment to see if I've added any player props to this slate. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. And thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.